In space, no one can hear you scream, and here on Earth, no one can keep the Alien franchise's timeline straight, but we're gonna try to sort it out anyway. We're keeping it to the canon established in the main film series, so apologies in advance, AVP Requiem and Colonial Marines apologists. Fans. Everybody else, grab your flamethrowers, motion trackers, and whatever the heck that is, because it's time to tackle the complicated chronology of the Alien movies. Spoilers ahead, including what we know so far about Alien Covenant. The Alien series begins billions of years in the past when we see an engineer drink some mysterious black liquid and toss himself into a waterfall. What is this engineer engineering? As it turns out, all life on Earth. In 2089, archaeologists Elizabeth Shaw and Charlie Holloway discover cave paintings in Scotland that aren't just cave paintings, they're star maps. They found similar maps all over the world, all pointing to the same place, so they see this as an invitation. 4 years later, Shaw and Holloway, along with a research team funded by the Weyland Corporation, arrive on board the spaceship Prometheus at the planet the maps were pointing to, LV-223. During an expedition into an alien structure, the android David finds some black liquid and takes it back to the ship. His hypothesis? That it may give eternal life to his alien creator, Peter Weyland, who secretly traveled to LV-223 with the Prometheus crew. David tests that hypothesis on an unwitting Holloway, and it does not go according to plan. Holloway's health rapidly declines, and he and the other members of the crew fall victim to the liquid's effects, one way or another. The surviving crew, along with Weyland, return to the alien structure to talk with an engineer they found in stasis. This also does not go according to plan. The awakened engineer, clearly not a morning person, rips David's head off, kills Weyland, and attempts to fly to Earth to kill us all before being killed by the Trilobite, a creature birthed by Shaw after having sex with an infected Holloway. Shaw takes David's head and boards an engineer ship to find their home planet, hoping to discover why they wanted to kill us all. Speaking of killing us all, after Shaw and David take off, we see a creature dig its way out of the dead engineer, the Deacon. It's not the classic xenomorph we know and love, but they sure do look similar. How exactly the Deacon relates to the xenomorphs is a question that Ridley Scott has yet to address. Now it's 2104. A group of colonists aboard the spaceship Covenant discover a distress signal coming from a lush planet, which also happens to be where Shaw and David ended up after the events of Prometheus. After landing, idiots! A number of Covenant crew members get infected by airborne black spores, setting in motion a chain reaction of carnage aboard the ship. Alien Covenant's paradise also turns out to be housing a new breed of alien, the Neomorph, as well as at least one xenomorph with a real vendetta against windshields. New protagonist Daniels, and android Walter, who also looks like Michael Fassbender because new android faces are expensive, but also because he's a great actor, discover more about the engineers and their mystery liquid. Now let's jump to 2122 on board the commercial spacecraft Nostromo, returning home from an expedition commissioned by the Weyland-Yutani Corporation. On their way back, the crew responds to a distress call on LV-426 and discovers a crashed engineer ship infested with xenomorph eggs. Executive Officer Kane is attacked by a facehugger, gets taken back to the ship, and becomes that guy at the dinner party.
Oh, God!
That's awkward. Kane's chestburster scuttles away and quickly grows into an adult xenomorph which starts killing everyone on board. As the crew hunts the alien, Warrant Officer Ellen Ripley discovers that the Nostromo's android Ash has been instructed to return it to Weyland-Yutani back on Earth so they can weaponize it. The xenomorph, of course, kills everyone but Ripley, and more importantly, Jones the cat. Ripley then escapes in the Nostromo shuttle, blasting the xenomorph into space in the process. She puts herself and Jonesy into hypersleep. 57 years later, Ripley is awakened on a space station orbiting Earth. Weyland-Yutani claim not to believe her story, and junior exec Carter Burke manages to convince her to return to LV-426 as the settlement there has stopped responding to communications. Yep, they put a settlement there. Those idiots. Jones hangs back, making him the smartest character in the franchise. Once on the planet, they discover one survivor, the feral Newt.
Affirmative.
Newt? More like cute, am I right? Okay, sorry. The crew is attacked by swarms of xenomorphs. Bill Paxton loses his damn mind.
Game over, man. It's game over.
And Burke is revealed as this voyage's "I want to take the aliens back to Earth because that seems like a good idea" guy. The settlement's nuclear reactor explodes and Ripley kills the alien queen, who was trying to stow away on the dropship because clearly she didn't watch the first movie. Ripley, Newt, Hicks, and what's left of Bishop go into hypersleep, escaping on board the Sulaco. Sweet dreams. Or so it seems. A stowaway facehugger starts a fire, which causes the Sulaco to crash on Fiorina, aka Fury 161, a prison planet. Ripley is the sole survivor. The facehugger escapes, impregnates a dog, and bursts forth as a quadrupedal xenomorph known as a runner. Why do they call it that? Because it runs, obviously. The runner preys on the colony, yet when presented with an opportunity to kill Ripley, it leaves her alone because it can sense an alien queen embryo inside her chest. Ripley and inmate Morse managed to eventually kill it before Weyland-Yutani arrived to remove the embryo for the usual misguided reasons, but Ripley thwarts them by throwing herself and her little companion into a vat full of molten metal. Fast forward 200 years and humanity still hasn't gotten the memo that xenomorphs are not a good thing to keep around. The United Systems military has cloned themselves a Ripley and the alien queen she tried so hard to get rid of, producing a whole new generation of xenomorphs on board the space vessel USM Auriga. Predictably, the newborn queen escapes and the xenomorphs do what xenomorphs do best. Their murder spree triggers an irreversible emergency detour back to Earth. The cloned Ripley and a group of mercenaries try to escape, most of them dying along the way, and Ripley is taken to an alien nest where she discovers the alien queen cloned from her chest possesses a human womb. Ugh. In front of Ripley, the queen gives birth to a human xenomorph hybrid, which immediately kills its mom. Ripley tearfully sends it out the window in the usual fashion and watches from the mercenary ship as the Auriga collides with Earth, killing all the aliens on board. Or so we think. This is as far in the timeline as the movies have currently gone. Any questions? Are you mad we left Alien Isolation off the list? Well, let those comments burst out of your fingertips below, and if you like this video, check out our review of Alien Covenant. If you want another deep dive into the incredibly convoluted chronology of your favorite franchises, check out our Wolverine and Fast and Furious timeline videos, because they've got you covered. Man, they make a lot of movies. This is Scoville, last survivor of this video, signing off.